Hi guys, it's Miss Taylor again, here for Tuesday's lesson, December 13th. We are going to jump down all the way to the very last lesson, front sign. So we are going to create the portion of the poster that says "Go forth and educate." Now, of course, if you don't want to write that in your poster, you don't have to. So the first thing that we need to do is go into Photoshop, and we're going to open up a brand new document. We're just going to go to File, New, and just pick the default Photoshop size. Now, because we're working with a resolution of 300 on our regular poster, let's go ahead and match that by changing the resolution to 300 as well. And click OK. Okay, so if you look at the front page, you'll see basically two simple shapes, two rectangles. That's exactly what we're going to do. So in your layers palette, let's go ahead and create two layers. Okay, the first layer, we'll just write sign number 1. And the second layer, we'll label it sign number 2. Remember to change your labels, just double click on the actual letter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create a rectangle by clicking on the marquee tools. It's the first button on the left-hand side. We want the rectangular marquee tool, and we want our setting to stay at normal. Fixed ratio only allows us to make squares. Fixed size only allows us to stick to a certain pixel per inch. So if we have it on normal, we're able to create rectangles. So what I'm doing here is I'm clicking, holding my mouse, and creating a rectangle. It doesn't really matter the size because we can always use Command T later and change that. So let's go ahead and fill this space with some color. You can do that again two ways that I've already taught you. You can use your paint bucket, or you can hit Edit Fill. Remember, there's always more than one way to do things in Photoshop. So I'm going to use the paint bucket. I'm just going to go to my foreground color, tap it, and then pick a color that I want for my sign. I'm just going to copy what's on the example on the front of the packet. So I'm going to find that kind of yellowish light orange, click OK, and then tap it in there. You're done. You'll notice that in your thumbnails, I'll enlarge mine so you can see it, that there's your sign. We don't need our marching ants anymore, so let's hit Command D, okay? And Command T will help us change it if we don't want it the size that we originally created it. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same thing for our second sign, so you'll have to jump to the next layer, and you're going to repeat that exact same process. So go to your rectangular marquee tool again, making sure you're on the other layer. We don't want them on the same layer. Click, drag. Maybe this one will be a little longer for something that has more letters. Change our foreground color. In my case, I'm just going to change it to a darker orange. Go to my paint bucket and tap it in. Command D to deselect. Okay, so now we have the rectangles for our signs. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create the text. We want a nice, thick, bold text. So we're going to go back to our text tool, which we used from the globes. You should be familiar with this by now. And then find a good, solid, easy to read font. I'm going to use Arial Black. Now, it's very important that you're selective about the words that you choose. Number one, it's going to stand out the most. Anytime there's text in artwork, it's going to be what the viewer looks at first. So you want it to be impactful and you want it to be thoughtful. So maybe these words will represent you, maybe they'll be representative of things that are in your poster. Whatever it is, be thoughtful about it. So I'm going to click once. I can always change size later, so I'm just going to increase the size so I can see it. And I'm just going to, again, choose what is on the poster. So in all capital letters it says go forth, and you'll notice nothing is showing up here because my layer is underneath, so let's move that up there and change it to white. Whoops. If you ever make a text layer by accident, just throw it away. Go forth. Okay, a little too big, so let's highlight it and bring it down. Okay, and then I'll create another text layer and write educate. Now, if you look at the poster, and is turned to the side. So what we can do here is we can just write and as it is, decrease the font size, get off of the text layer, hit Command T, and you remember how to just rotate it. So I can just do that with my text. Another way to do that would be Command T, right-click inside, and then rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. That way you for sure have an exact 90-degree angle. Okay, so I'm going to move that into place. I'm going to increase educate. I'm going to hold down Shift to keep that aspect ratio. And now you have your two signs. But before we sign off for the day, I'd like to go ahead and merge the two signs with their texts. So with sign 1, which is this one here, I want to merge that with go forth. So I'm going to hit Command on my keyboard and select both of these together. I want to go ahead and rasterize my layers again and then merge them. Now they're combined. So when I go to move them, they'll move together. I'm going to do the same with educate. I'm going to click on the dark orange box, and I'm going to click on educate and. I'm just going to simply hold my Command key down and highlight the ones that I want merged. Right click, rasterize, right click, merge. There they are together. Hopefully you learned how to make signs, and when you're finished, go ahead and save it to your desktop. Go File, Save As. Hopefully you don't get that spinny wheel. Title it Sign for Poster. Throw it on your desktop, save it, maximize your compatibility, and you're all ready to transfer that onto your poster when the time comes. So when I come back tomorrow, Wednesday, you should have your self cut out. We will convert that to black and white at a later time, and then we will move the signs over when we're finished with everything. Those are your two tasks. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.